trading data sponsored by Agent. I hope you prepare for an exciting live session as we invite very different traders to participate in this high energy and high stakes battle. Today, we have my co-host, Boris Schlossberg, returning to the ring for our trading data with Francis Hunt, the market center. I'm particularly excited about today's session because Francis is a commodities pro, and we, or at least I, haven't been in a battle where we talk oil, copper, natural gas, and maybe even stock-specific names. Both of our traders have more than 30 years of experience, and while they hide their white hairs well, you have the rare opportunity to watch two grandmasters trade. Over the next 45 minutes, you'll see firsthand how Francis and Boris make money in live market environments against all odds. And we've got some tricks up our sleeves to make today even more challenging for our trading battle. But this is the best opportunity for you to get a sense of how these grandmaster traders trade when the odds are against them. We have personal income and spending numbers along with Canadian GDP coming out in a few minutes. Today, there'll be three trading challenges, and the stakes are high. Not only are our traders trading for bragging rights and internet fame, but they are also trading for the charity of their choice. At the end of this live stream, we'll compare their trades, the market movements, and declare today's ultimate winner. Francis, Boris, welcome to our show. We're about an hour to the, well, we're about an hour to the New York market open. Boris, how are the markets moving, and what trades will you be looking to kick us off with?
Well, it's a negative risk environment. First of all, by the way, I really resent that gray hair comment. As my hairdresser said, just be glad that you still have hair. So I'm still fighting the good fight. Negative risk environment in front of the market today. Friday market seems to be, I think, a little bit leery after having a very, very big run-up. Yields are lower. Equities are lower significantly. Crypto is lower. In front of the event today, we have Canadian GDP, which is projected to be lower than on a QOQ basis around 0.3, negative 0.3 contraction. I am going to try to bet that it's going to be even worse than expected. I'm watching my Canadian dollar CAD dollar CAD chart right now. And as you can see, if you look at my chart here, which plots the session highs, session lows, the lower red line is the session low. The green line is the session high. We're sort of like in the lower third of the range. And it's actually indicating that the market may be looking to sell dollar CAD, get positive Canadian data as we what would you like me to move the chart? I don't know. My producer wants me to move the chart. I'm moving the chart anyway. I don't know what to move it. And as you can see, the market really is looking to sell the Canadian data in front of the event. But I think the event might be negative. So I'm gonna go against the market. Buy dollar CAD here at market 24.37. Here's the thing: if the data prints better than expected and we break the session lows at 25, I'm going to stop and reverse and short the trade, because that means that the numbers should be pretty good and we want to get long dollar CAD. The other trade that I'm looking at right now, just on a purely technical basis, I really like this because we had a natural spike here early in the morning in the Australian dollar against the euro dollar spike to session highs. Again, this is the session high in the euro dollar. And now it's starting to work off that move. And I want to be short this trade because I think it's going to work its way back down to the 61.10 level. So I'm short Aussie dollar here, 61.33. Stop 61.70 above the highs, and trying to see if we can make maybe half at 61.20 and then the rest lower. So I'm letting that float down as it works off the overbought condition. So those are my two trades in front of the event risk.
I'm not sure we got your dollar CAD stop and target levels. So can you provide that to us again?
Sure. My dollar CAD, I'm long dollar CAD right now. My stop is going to be essentially, let me just show you, essentially at 24.25, the session lows. And it's actually going to be a stop and reverse. What I'm looking to do is I'm long here on a speculation that the Canadian data is going to be worse. But if it breaks the day's lows, I'm going to reverse my trade and go with the flow and sell it short. So 24.37 long, 25 my stop. I'll let you know my target. Let's just put a target out there at 55, but I'm going to manage this dynamically to see how it goes after the event risk happens.
So this should be an exciting one. We've got, initial entry, and when the data kicks off in about 10 minutes, that could kick us either into a target or into a new trade. Francis, what are you looking at?
Oh,
yes. Hey guys, how are you? couple of things on the FX side of possible interest. A commodity that would be Western Texas Intermediate, and maybe a little bit of slipping on the cryptos. We'll see. So let's get more specific. Let's start with the FX side. I've been looking at the yen against the dollar. I know there's Canadian news coming. There might be a shift in, but I'm not feeling anything particularly strongly in those charts. So I won't be competing or having a similar view to Boris there. I'll let that one pan out. I like to see some form of the technical analysis pre a news, giving a little bit of a tip of the hand, or at least the market putting their best guess forward, and I'm not feeling it particularly. So let's talk about the USD JPY first of all. Get it up. Hopefully you're seeing that. Now, time frames, we've got 45 minutes to make some money. I think this will actually ease back down, but in the more medium term, it's breaking up. So again, I think I heard Boris mention dynamically. If it comes off a little bit, I'm looking to go maybe long, but you might actually get a little bit of dollar strength. I'm feeling it on my Euro USD as well. So I'm feeling a little bit that the dollar might be in a slightly stronger state. So hence, when I take a look at the CAD, I actually see the CAD, if anything, coming off. I can't quite recall what Boris's position was. Sorry, I missed whether he wants to be long or short, but it looks like softening to me. So maybe I should be both.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe I will actually take the CAD, take a trade on the CAD, and I'd be quite happy to go your standard lot allocation short right now on the CAD. So if you hit me at market, and I'll take a stop at 124.52. So let me just make my chart a little bit broader so people can see it. And I'll tell you why. This is very tactical. It's not typical of what we do, but at a candle level, these wicks are showing resistance for me. So let me just really boost this in scale so everyone can see, because I'm going to give you my first trade live now in the go. If we got CAD news, I don't like these two candles. Whoops, let's change that to orange. I don't like these two candles, and I think there's rejection on there. And I'm seeing on the euro and other places, I'm expecting a bit of dollar strength. So hit me at market now, please, and stop at this level, which I'll shout out and confirm to you again. In other words, I accept I'm wrong on my trade idea, which every trader should do at the top of that wick. So that is high 124.51. So have my stop at 124.51. Let's hold for the key level over here at 124 as we run. We're still 30 pips out of the market. Let's see if it comes. Actually, I won't put a take profit. I'll trade that dynamically. If the news is really bad, we might get more. So I have a stop in without a take profit, and I'll wait on the news.
I love that. Boris is long dollar CAD. Francis is short dollar CAD. So we're going to
taking him on.
Yes, you're taking him on. We're going to have
some
interesting 6 minutes. These two gentlemen are going to duke it out and see who's the Canadian dollar king. Francis, you talked about how you look at a tremendous amount of different asset classes. So is FX typically something you focus on, or do you usually look at commodities or stocks, or just whatever your technical setup gives you?
So FX has actually been a long time that I've done a great deal with FX. This program is very ideal for the shorter time frame, and FX I think is awesome for that. Plus you have the news drop. So in a sense I'm taking the other side of the news trade on the basis that the market knows a bit more, in my best guess. So I haven't looked at FX in a while, but I actually, cut my teeth on FX. And some of our biggest macro trades of, in 2009 were on the Euro Swiss franc short and various other things. This was all pre-crypto. So FX was a big part of it. And it has become slightly less so, and I tend to look very macro at the FX now for fear, which I brought up the yen. So let's maybe talk about the yen a little bit, because it's not if people forget what a big economy it is, and it's kind of out the other side there. But I think, again, I'm feeling that we're going to get dollar appreciation because I'm bear on the CAD. But I think initially maybe there's a chance we even come down a little bit. But in the long run, we're going to be breaking out of this falling wedge structure. I'll just highlight that so that everybody can visualize the trade idea that may come on. I don't want to rush into this one just yet. So this will be one we might look. But there's a a technical falling wedge structure. We like to see three impulses into the wedge, and we're kind of in a little tiny rising wedge structure where maybe we squeeze up a little bit more, but then there's going to be some form of sell-off. And then more medium term, and I think the 45 minutes is too short a time frame, we actually see dollar go up. So maybe dollar squeezing a tiny bit stronger against the yen, but then there's some risk of sell-off. So I don't want to rush into this fella. And in the longer run, I'm actually quite bullish the dollar against the yen. This could come lower, and you'd also get, for technical traders, they might, if we get lower down here on that sell-off, you get a bit of a W bottom type structure as well. And as I'm a macro guy more than a tactical guy, I'll remind everybody where the big...
Sorry, guys. I'm going to interrupt. France, I'm going to just interrupt you. I'm going to get long dollar Dow, 34.9985 right now. Stop 34.940 with a target of 35,000. In front of the PCI numbers, I think the data should be okay. Dow is forming a double bottom here on my charts. So I'm just going to take that trade because equities is my space. So I like that trade.
Okay, so Boris has a CAD long trade, a Dow long trade, as well as a Euro Aussie short trade on the books. Francis, you've got dollar CAD short. Is this dollar yen that we're just looking at? Do you want to wrap some levels around it, or we're just looking at the chart?
I'll come back to it. I don't think it's fully ready. Little bit of softness coming into oil if it's back with me. I don't want to over commentate. I'm just not seeing anything I want to rush, even though we've only got the time frame we have. I want to be pretty sure that the move is pretty imminent. So I'm watching just so that guys know. I think we're getting a little bit toppy here, and I'm talking about dollar strength again. So this could move into an easing situation on the oils if we're close. Generally, that last candle, if you have a look at that, was quite brutal. So for the small time frames, as I call them. So possibly a trade brewing here. We'll see if this turns into upside continuation. If we start ticking up through that, I'll back off. If we show more weakness, I'll probably look at small tactical shorts, and I'll drop you levels for that as and when. So I've just got the one trade at the moment, taking the other side of the CAD into the news.
Perfect. I cannot wait to see how these trades pan out. We're about a minute and a half away from the Canadian GDP and personal incomes, personal spending data. So we'll turn back to that when the numbers come out. Now, in many ways, today's trades are forced market conditions because as a trader, I know none of us just turn on our screens and randomly place a trade. You hear it in Francis' hesitation voice, and perhaps, that is the self-control that makes him as successful as he is. We'd like to wait for our setup and trade when everything lines up. But today, we're going to have some fun and mix things up. At some point or another, all of us have found ourselves in positions that we don't want to be in, trying to figure out what to do. And while we're waiting for the numbers to come out, what we're going to do is we're going to have our traders give each other 3 trades, 1 crypto, 1 index, and 1 Forex. And they'll have to hold their trades for 10 minutes at least, give us precise stops and limits. They can hold it for longer if they want, and they'll talk us through whether they like those trades. So this is your opportunity to basically stick it to your opponent and try to get some pips lost on their end. Now, I don't want to go immediately to it because we've got about 30 seconds to the data. So, gentlemen, I'll let you kind of look at your charts, and here we go. We've got some numbers coming out. We don't see any movement yet in dollar CAD. It's moving a little bit lower. Do you guys see what the numbers are?
The Canadian data is in line 3.3 against 3.3. The PPI was a little bit hotter at 0 against -4. Consumer spending in the U.S. is 1 against 7, so that's a better number. Dow is popping a little bit, but not quite to my target. I'm looking to see if I can get it up to 35,000. It's 34,991 right now. So not, a relatively tepid reaction in the market so far, but I'm still trying to hold on to my positions. Other than that,
right. That's what I see. the GDP numbers from Canada are right in line. The prior data was revised a little lower, which should be good for Boris's trade, but it's a monthly number. We don't really know it's going to have that much of an impact. And as he said, personal income was better, personal spending was better, which should be good for dollar, like Francis indicated. So, we're going to float these trades and see how they go. So now, gentlemen, we are on to challenge.
Sorry, I'm gonna add one more. I'm gonna add one more trade here. I'm trying to see if I really want to do it just yet. Yeah, why not? I'm going to go long NASDAQ too. At 14,880 market right now, stop at 14,860 and target at 14,890. Just a 20-point stop, 10-point target. Not a great trade of mine, but I'm just sort of trying to see if indices have bottomed out on the sell-off in the European session. Data is good. Maybe they're going to raise the equities before the bell. So I want to be long the equities at this point. So I'm long NASDAQ, long Dow, trying to see if make this thing going to go running. Okay, that's it.
All right, Francis, I'm going to give you the opportunity first to give Boris 3 trades that you absolutely hate and you want him to be in.
Oh, wow. Put him in a tough position. The ambush trade. Yeah, so typically cryptos have a high volatility. I think he's planning something for that for me, so I feel obliged to return the compliment. But interestingly enough, I actually create a bit of a pause area. So I'm showing Bitcoin. I don't know if that's showing up. So that's a major one that's well listed. Had a fairly clear-cut rejection of the 40K level after one of our setups. So yeah, maybe putting Boris in long there might be an idea. I'm going to just check Ethereum, close to one of our key areas of support. I want to put him maybe long in a crypto, but this actually does have a base of supports under it. I want to see it spill. So maybe I'll go back to the Bitcoin. Actually, I don't think these are bad places either way right now. I wouldn't trade them either way. It's not awful.
Sorry, I'm gonna take 10 on my Euro Aussie right now. It's 26. I was short from 35, so we'll take 10 pips on Euro Aussie on my trade. We'll close that out. And sorry, go ahead. You torture me with your cryptos. Oh, also,
I think I'll put you short.
Dow hit 35,000. Done with that. Nasdaq hit 14,890. Done with that. So 15 Dow, 10 Nasdaq. Close. All those things. We're done on my indice trades. Keep going. Go ahead.
I'm going to put Boris in short on Bitcoin. I think there might be a small, during this period, counter rally as we came into support. So short at 38,800s.
Okay.
All right. So one crypto.
Give him that, and he can give me one back. So let's alternate, maybe.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So you stole my thunder on crypto. I hate the. So you're putting me short Bitcoin, right? Not long.
I put
Bitcoin?
you short. You can keep it if you want.
Oh, really?
Short. Yes, at 38,800. Because I think it's going to have a small counter rally at close support. So. For the small window of time frame, I actually think it's going to be in counter trend to that sell-off. So I think it might nibble you away.
Yeah. Well, I think I agree with you. So I'm going to in 10 minutes, I'm probably going to dump that trade. But for you, I'm actually going to put you. I'm going to put you long ETH, even though ETH looks like it's basing. I'm going to put you long ETH. It's going to go against my instincts, but it's still looking very negative to me. So I'm going to put you long at ETH at this point at 23.39. So that'll be my crypto exchange to you.
So you're putting me long ETH. I'm actually preferring that. In fact, so I'll double that position that he's given me. So he's put me long one unit. I'll go another on top.
Wow, I love that.
Yes, doubling down on Boris's trade.
So that's at 2338. 2338. A second.
Got it. And I'm gonna blow out of my dollar CAD because it's doing nothing. So I'm just gonna scratch it out flat. 24.35. Let's blow it out. Let's look for different ideas here that may be working better.
Okay. Before we move into indices, any precise stops and limits for these cryptos trades?
No, we have like 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes, and then we decide. So let the market torture us for 10 minutes.
No problem. Now, Boris, your turn. Indices.
Indices. This is a very, very tough trade. Um, I am going to put you short Dow, Francis, 35.10 right here. Um, and yeah, I'm going to do that. If you guys want to look at my chart, if you want to take a look at it for just 1 second, let me show you why I want to do this to him. So here's Dow. This is my proprietary indicator that gives me highs and lows for the overnight session. You can see we bounced off the lows, making higher lows over here. Data was pretty good, and I think Dow, this is why I had the long Dow trade. I gave it up too early. It's 15 points more in the money, but I think it runs a little further. So I'm putting him in short right now at that 12 level, and let's see where it goes in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, I like the long Dow, and I will get it, out of the short and I'll go one on it long at the current market level 35.012. And I will put a stop loss at 34.942. So if I just illustrate that with lines, stop at the low, I'll close the short immediately and I'll go long there. And that was 35.012.
Wait, hold on.
Rules, Francis.
Francis, you can't do that. You have to spend 10 minutes. The whole point is you got to spend 10 minutes.
No, I've got to have 10 minutes of purgatory. Oh, okay. That's giving me my next long trade. So
otherwise it'd be easy. Yeah.
Oh, that's
okay.
true.
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
A newbie era. Okay. Thanks for that.
It's your turn to stick it to Boris. Yeah, he's racked up a couple of winners. Let's get him some pretty challenging positions here.
Okay. So we got an index trade to do. Let's have a look at the Nasdaq, which is usually higher. I don't like this chart. I want to make sure I've got the latest update. Is it 15048 on you? I'm making sure I've got the right tipper.
No,
that it's updated.
Nasdaq CFD is 14890.
Look, it could be an index. It could be commodity. It could be a specific stock. Any of those.
Are we talking Nasdaq 100 or the Nasdaq comp? I think there's a slight difference there.
Nasdaq 100, sorry. The Nasdaq 100.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the CFD prices.
Let me just go pull that up. I'm getting 15046 as a current value. Is that right? I'm sharing screen. 15048.
No, I don't know what quote you're getting. The quotes I'm seeing are on the CFD is 14884 on the CFD and 14869 off futures. It should be in that range. CFD is just a little bit under.
So this is possibly.
You may have some kind of a wrong feed there.
Try that. 14881. I'm getting okay.
That's the right one.
It looked like that was yesterday, not a open. I don't particularly like this. I think it's going to fizzle off a little bit. So I'll put for 10 minutes long at 14882 on the Nasdaq. I'll put Boris long.
Okay. All right, you put me long. Okay. All right. I'll suffer.
All right.
Okay.
Last instrument, FX. Francis, what are you looking at for Boris? It could be FX. It could be oil, gold. Up to you.
I think this oil's gone a bit quiet. I think wants to come off. Actually, no, I think it's up. I'll put him short on the oil. I'm watching this grind. So the guys that know me will know we like sort of triangle type setups. As they're known in traditional technical analysis. I'd put Boris short. I think we're going to squeeze a little higher here. So if you're seeing my chart, I'll put Boris short, the Western Texas Intermediate at 73.51.
All right, Francis, you're being a really not nice person. Okay, I like the oil to the long side too. Fine, I'm going to put you. I really, I don't. All my things that I really loved had already moved. The Euro Aussie had really moved to the downside. So there's like a lot of that profit has, a lot of that negative flow has worked itself off. I think I'm actually going to try and put you. I'm just trying to figure out. God, it's like this. I think I'm going to this is really a punt. I'm going to put you long pound Swiss. it's really range bound and it's very indeterminate, but I just don't have anything better right now off the quick. So I might as well put you in that. Let's see if that works against you. So I'm long pound Swiss 24.48, 26.48.
I need to get a chart of that and see this ambush you've set for me. EBP CHF, and let's go. FXM will do. And you're putting me long the sterling.
Yeah, long sterling Swiss 26.48.
Yeah, a bit of a churny chart that seems a bit flat. We'll let the 10 minutes time out and we'll make a decision on that. So At the moment, I wasn't watching my blotter. I'm a bit crazy at this, so I'm just finding out. So I was holding on to that USD CAD for too long. I saw that I was holding a loss, so I closed that just to update. So the CAD is actually up slightly. And so that damaged me a little bit because I wasn't watching. So I have closed it now, just so that everybody's up to date. I am long Ethereum, and I doubled up on that. And I am just to update of where we are. I'm currently long the Dow 30, which I'm holding and is going in my favor. And I've just been dumped short long the GBP Swiss franc, which is going against me at the moment. So we'll wait till the 10 minutes is up and we'll make our decisions on that. I haven't done too much positive, proactive of my own trades.
No, he's short. He's short Dow. He's a little bit confused on a Dow. Yeah, he's short. I put you short Dow, not long. But
my apologies. It says sell. Sorry, my eyes are not seeing the layers. That's a bit small. So I was reading the one above. Yeah, I'm short Dow, and it's actually making. Was it? Yeah, it's making this. It's largely square, small profit.
Okay, so we're looking at Francis Blotter right now, so you can stay on top of the positions that he's in. What's really interesting is that he's only put on one position, and the rest are Boris's. So in no way is that indicative of what Francis really wants to be in. In terms of Boris, let's take a look at his blotter. Boris, I thought it was a lot more positions than you put on than this. Where was? I guess they're all there. Dollar CAD, Euro Aussie. It seems like for now, Boris is on top thanks to his earlier FX trades. But his Dow 30 that Francis that he's in looks good. Nasdaq looks good. So we'll sit with these. If you would like to close any of these positions, gentlemen, we are now in the sweet spot that you could. If not, let's talk a little bit about kind of the big picture. I think, before we move into the last challenge, I think we have very different views on the market. Boris thinks, we're at a top. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, Francis, you think that, scaling into commodities and staying long may still be the best idea. So, Francis, why don't you start first and talk us a little bit through your medium-term outlook for the markets?
Medium-term outlooks for the markets. So there's the predominant trend in my worldview, and then there's the out of the blue counter trends. And so for me, I am typically an anti-fiat trader. The fiat proliferation game, I want the other side of that trade at the macro level. So in all aspects there, I want to be macro long the things like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like oil, like even precious metals, which have had a bit of a dull. None of us have spoken about gold or silver at the moment. And that's my predominant view. And I personally feel the money's made in the holding. So I'm quite uncomfortable with high, quick jumping in and jumping out and managing multiple things at once. It's very much out of my comfort zone. But that's a good thing because it just develops you further. But it wouldn't be my version of lifestyle trader. So I want to be off the screens and I want to be with a macro. So that's kind of my backdrop without turning it into a lengthy narrative.
So if I understand you correctly, you're basically bullish crypto. And I believe you're bullish commodities as well. But what about the stock market? You think it's at a top? We've got a little bit of a drop in the Dow today. We're kind of consolidating with a little bit of a bias to the downside. Are we a top in stocks, or you think that this is just a pause before more gains?
So I think we will have visitations of fear and sell-offs, but the grand macro is in spite of, and this is more in spite of the wall of worry around valuation. The predominant theme of the macro, which fiat proliferation would see equities continue on the macro to go higher, but with regular bloodlettings. And I would say people should invest most in lump sums when there's just been a selling off, but they should hold their nose with the valuations and buy.
Okay, great insights. Boris, what do you think? Are we at top or not?
Can we start closing our counterparty trades? Okay, I'm gonna close the oil 73.18 to flatten me out on that one because he put me long in that. He has me. Am I long Ethereum or short Ethereum? I'm completely. Or he put me into Bitcoin. Where's I already forgot my position on Bitcoin. Am I short or long? I can't see this. Let me see my trades.
Put up the
Whatever it is, close my Bitcoin. Just close my Bitcoin. That just flattens me out on whatever positions he put me into. Oil, Bitcoin, and now the only thing that we have working, he put me long Nasdaq, and I actually like that trade, and I'm working that trade. And if that trade goes to 14,890, I'm gonna take profit on that trade that he put me into. You should never trade it.
Francis, you want to look at your blotter for a minute?
Yes, I am right now. There's nothing really moved sufficiently well. I've been in and out of the profit on the Dow that I was put short. I've been in and out of it on Ethereum that I doubled up on, and we're not really getting them. So cryptos have been, given their volatile nature, relatively limp during this window period and this data drop. Which is admittedly very traditional market and less significant, but cryptos do bend to the traditional markets and the risk on, risk off. I still think that the ETH is going to come up a little bit off this tactically for the short time frame, despite the sell-off. So I'm staying with the short that Boris gave me as a held trade, and I added to it. So that the only issue I have is that the leverage I'm getting on the Dow is significantly higher. So my entire trading block is being dictated by the short on the Dow, which is actually serving me quite well at the moment. But it's a bit of a tricky one. Indices generally go up 90% of the time. They go up on the escalator, but they take the elevator down. So I might be getting away with it. Maybe I should snatch what I got and run. I got badly served by the CAD. I didn't see my blotter until too late, and it had done quite a bit of damage there. So that was a management error, which I'll have to take on the chin. So I'm actually fine now. I'm actually seeing the Dow trade working in with me, and sometimes you should just go with the mood. It does seem like a risk-off environment generally, although cryptos are pretty much slightly dribbling up, in my opinion. So maybe I should be doubling up on the Dow trade as it's most highly leveraged, and I think I've got some ground to make up. I'm just trying to find my chart to make a last-minute decision on that. So just give me a minute. Jumping around and dealing with all these multitudes of things going on is a bit of a thing for me.
No
I love how Francis is making lemons out of lemonade or lemonade out of lemons, because he's actually taking the trade I gave him and doubling up on it to make more money. That's taking advantage of the market gods. Go ahead. Yeah, Kathy.
Yeah, in 2 minutes, tell us, do you think the market's at a top?
I think it's getting very, very close to the top. I'm negative market on a long-term basis, but on an ultra short-term basis, if you guys want to just want me to walk you through my setup, if you guys looking at my screen. By the way, let's take that 1488, close me on the NASDAQ, book my profit on NASDAQ, get me out. So I think I should be actually almost flat in everything. I don't think I have any positions at this point. And if I do, a producer update me on what I have. But I think I closed everything out. I took advantage of Francis's getting me long into this position to just scalp it out. But if you want, I definitely think we are very, very close to the top from a valuation point of view, sentiment point of view, all sorts of things. I don't think we're up for a crash. We certainly can have a 5 to 10% rollback into a very, very bad seasonality played. If you want to look at what I did and why I like these short-term scalp setups, which we do all the time in our chat room, is Here's the NASDAQ. It comes back down, comes back up through our proprietary moving average envelope, and then comes back down again to kind of test the double bottom. Once it gives me a reversal candle, a green candle, that offers me a great opportunity for the long side. And basically, all I'm doing all day long is looking for quality double bottoms, double tops on a scalp basis. And that's why I was able to trade the Dow successfully and the NASDAQ successfully a couple of times. That's a bread and butter trade we do every single day over and over and over again. So that's what that was the driving force behind that trades that we did today.
All right, the time is here for our last challenge. So it's Friday. We're heading into a new week. It's end of the month. Next week is going to be a very busy one with labor market numbers from the US, Canada, New Zealand, central bank rate decisions from Australia, the UK. So what I want to ask you two gentlemen is what you think the best trade idea is for the coming week. Francis, do you want to go first?
Yes. So the coming week is a significantly bigger time frame, obviously, than the 45 minutes we've had today. Overall, I would say during the course of that week, I would probably expect the second half. I would expect cryptos to have found a slightly lower low than what we've had now, and then to represent very good value into the weekend. So maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday, along cryptos till Sunday night, for example. If you want to, if your week is, in fact, what day are we today? It's Friday to Friday, so it's through the week. Maybe Monday, Tuesday next weekend, because crypto, don't forget, is a 7-day market. So possibly a bit of a soft weekend, maybe, by the base building, and then long from about Tuesday, Wednesday into till Friday that week. So you'll only be using the last 3 days, maybe. Unless you spot a bottom that occurs prior to that. So crypto's long, but not yet.
All right, we actually need something more precise, because I know firsthand how the tables could turn. Boris may be the winner with the most pips today, but if your crypto call is spot on, you could actually turn this whole thing around. So let's get.
So sure. 38.99 Bitcoin buy. So that's 38.099 on a Bitcoin buy. If it comes down that far, I'm not sure it will. And then I'd run it back up to the 40,000 again for through the 40,000. So you can take it up to 40,170. Where it'll probably have a rest one more time before we break higher. Stop loss on that. I wouldn't want to see it run this candle low over here. So I'll just show you where I'm pointing there. So that level is in and around the 37,360s. 37,360.
All right, sounds good. We got a limit order, I believe, from Francis here. What about you, Boris? What are you looking at for the coming week?
Well, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to stay with my idea that markets are oversold. You're looking at my chart here. This is the daily of the Nasdaq, right? Nasdaq topped out 15,200. That's going to be my stop. I want to get short here, 14,871, and let's see if we can get this down to maybe 14,500. That would be my first target on this move. As you can see, the Nasdaq's had a very, very strong move. We touched the lower end of our proprietary average moving average envelope. That suggests that sellers really have the upper hand. Second bounce. Now we're coming back off. I think we're going to start breaking that down to the downside. So I got to believe that NAS is going to be a sell for the next 3 or 4 days as profit taking really starts to kick in. I want to be in front of that trade. So short now, 15,200 my stop, 14,500 my target.
Okay, great stuff. So now let's bring back the scoreboard and see, where we're at with everything and any open trades that we've got. So this is Boris's dashboard, and he's up, got some nice trades. All of his trades are closed except for the NASDAQ trade, which we just put on for the coming week. He's short the markets. We've got a lot going on, so we'll have to see whether he's right or not. Now on to Francis's trades. We'll bring the scoreboard back up for that. Francis has a lot more open positions. He's got long Ethereum as well as some other positions. Francis traded less than Boris. He's down, but as I said, I know firsthand in my own experience how the table could turn when we go look at these longer term trades. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. I want to give Francis and Boris a few minutes to talk about what they do on a day-to-day basis and how our viewers can get more information from them. As I said earlier, these are forced market environments. It's not what our grandmaster traders do on a day-to-day basis. So, go ahead, Francis. Tell us a little bit about how our viewers can get information from you and what you do day to day.
Activity is counterproductive generally. Most high intensity activity, in my worldview, many other people, for me as a personality type, there will be other people for whom high activity and knowing what you've done for the day works brilliantly. So if you're the kind of profile person that does not want to be permanently adhered to screens or obliged to be at a certain place for an extended period, understanding the macro and doing the top down to specific macro biases is going to be the thing that builds your wealth. Further to which, I will say a larger part of that should be investment, which is under leveraged, with a significantly smaller subset, which we call the orange, which is lightly leveraged, and to very rare events, which unfortunately for me, none of which coincided for today, where you use potentially quite aggressive leverage, which we call hot pot and red. That is how our worldview and framing works of wealth building, and you tax down from the red into the orange and from the orange into your blue pot, your cold. So you've got to earn the right to leverage, and most people don't understand and appreciate it when they enter as retail traders. That's our worldview. We trade volatility constrictions, so we're looking at things getting very, very tight. There's quite a few that can be seen on bigger time frames that just weren't quite enough for me to get excited about today, and I'd rather do low activity than destructive activity. So that's kind of what's happened here today. Silver will come down, but in the macro, we're seeing, for example, a falling wedge. So if you're interested in the high R's trades, they're unique. That's the sniper principle. We shoot rarely, and we shoot big bullets for long distance. We want to shoot accurately. We want a high probability in our favor. So we're very much more waiting for unique opportunities. Really talented jobbers and scalpers like Boris and others can do exceptionally well, and I'm just not that guy. And there's a stall for every horse. So if you're interested to learn more about high R's and the money being made in the sitting and sniping and accuracy, we're the marketsniper.com. And we plan, and we have a long time to assess trades. We often have time to sleep on them. Do they still look right? We look at them upside down. We look at substitutes, all forms. So you have a lot of time for analysis. Fast thinking folk, very, very good at juggling multiple boards, will maybe be bored by our style. But as I say, there's a style for everybody. And if you like what we're doing, go and find us at the Market Sniper. We chat to everybody to make sure you don't have fantasies, and you're welcome to contemplate becoming a member of our community. I'm afraid you didn't get to see too much today. I feel almost like, it was a damn squid on my behalf. Well done to Boris for taking money out of the market and showing how if you practice every day doing something very specifically, you can steal out of the market on a daily basis, and that's a great way to make a living if it suits your personality and style.
Yeah, I really like that Francis is more of a relaxed trader. And, we don't often get to see that. We often get to see in and out, which oftentimes is not the way everyone wants to trade. And I also really like the idea of having 3 pots. He talked to me about it before the show with the red pot, the orange pot, and the blue pot, where you're moving money from high leverage to low leverage and moving your profits, and basically banking them. So that's a very unique approach to the market. He also trades crypto very actively, which not many of our guests do so far. So I highly encourage you, if you're into crypto from a broader perspective, scaling in, scaling out while trading in between, I very much encourage you to follow him. He's got 2 Twitter accounts, the Market Sniper on Twitter and the Crypto Sniper. So I know that crypto is very hot. It's been hot for a while. Definitely check him out. Boris, do you want to take a minute to talk a little bit about, what you do?
Sure. Sure. Well, I do the exact opposite of what Francis does, and it's wonderful to see Francis have a very long-term methodical approach, which unfortunately I don't have. I don't have any pots. I just have one pot, which is the winning pot, and that winning pot rotates on a 1-minute chart every single day. Every single day, we trade something called the Power Hour, 9 to 10 o'clock New York time. When the New York Stock Exchange opens up, we trade NASDAQ, we trade Dow, and we try to do exactly what Francis said and what you saw me do today, which is take money out of the market every single day. So we eat like a pigeon. Now, the disadvantage of that is, of course, yes, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of intensity. It's not a very long period of time. We just focus on 2 or 3 hours a day and we get our job done. The flip side of it that I really like is that we also never get killed. You ever notice that the pigeons never get killed? They always get out of the way of risk. And that is one of the great advantages of the kind of scalping approach we have. We never have to worry about big macro movements. We never have to worry about 50% drawdown in equities. We never have to worry about buying Bitcoin at 64 and selling it at 30 or holding it at 30, because we're there for the next 10 points. We're there for the next 15 points. We're there for the next hour of trade. Just take our money and go. That's what I do. It's a complete contrast to what Francis does. Some people like it. Some people don't. Some people like both. But if you're interested, certainly come see us at bkforex.com. Love to expose you to my day trading room where we trade indices all day long.
That was a great session, guys. Francis, Boris, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to our viewers at home. This is the Trading Battle, proudly sponsored by ACAP. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.